officially 2025 NFL draft season. Today we're going to talk about my top 10 wide receiver prospects / watch list for the 2024 college football season. I was going to put a top 15, but 15 to 20 are kind of just not amazing in terms of like college production and athletic profile. So they're very interchangeable. So I'm going to stick with the top 10 right now because these are like mostly consensus. I've seen about 8 of them in live games, but haven't really delved into like more than I think 2 games each. But anyways, let's start with my number 10 player here. We got Antonio Williams from Clemson. So he had a pretty good rookie season. Fortunately, sophomore season took a hit because Cade Klubnik decided to be terrible. Like a lot of people had him as a breakout candidate. I did not. I didn't see it. And unfortunately, he disappointed. Hopefully he bounced back so we could see Antonio Williams break out into that freshman year that we saw from him. He's a quick and agile player, and he kind of reminds me of Josh Downs from North Carolina, although he has more potential to play outside in the NFL. But right now I just see him as a slot receiver in the league, but a pretty good one at that because he got this physical skill set to be a good slot receiver in the NFL. My number 9 prospect is Colby Young from the Miami Hurricanes, who recently just transferred to Georgia, so expecting a huge breakout here. He had a pretty good freshman and a much better sophomore season, but man, if you watch this guy play, he looks like a tight end, but so smooth as a wide receiver. I don't want to say Calvin Johnson, but he has some shades of Calvin Johnson in the way he moves with how big he is. Very smooth, and with a new quarterback and a much better offense, he should smash this upcoming season. Right now my current comp is Evan Ingram if he was a wide receiver. It's just this dude is too big to be a wide receiver and too smooth, and for some reason he's faster than he should be. That's why I'm saying Calvin Johnson, but Calvin Johnson was like 235 and Colby Young's listed at 215 right now. But man, he's gonna get exposed a lot to the media this upcoming year, and expect him to rise up into like the top 5 if for some reason he gets like 60 plus catches and like 800 yards and 8 plus touchdowns. It's just he hopefully stays healthy and we can see his potential, but man, big things are coming for Colby Young. Next, number 8 prospect, we got Torrey Horton, Colorado State University. Gonna be a 5th year senior. I was kind of surprised that he went back to school, but I understood it because this is such a deep class that he would have been probably like a day 2 at best prospect. So, and 2025 is theoretically a much weaker wide receiver class, so he could potentially, sneak into that first round draft pick. But anyways, Torrey Horton, CSU, big smooth receiver, kind of glides when he moves. He doesn't seem to have that quick speed, in-game speeds. I couldn't see it. Doesn't make sense that but the way he moves, it's not fast but smooth. But his main calling card is he has big strong hands. He comes up with everything, doesn't drop any passes. Had a breakout year last year in a bad Colorado State team. He should again probably eclipse 100 reception, like 1200 yards, and hopefully double-digit touchdown. That should project him into late first, early second conversation. But he's gonna be old, so I don't know. A lot of Leggett did just go in the first round, so that shouldn't be an issue. But he kind of reminds me of a big slot wide receiver, Allen Robinson, who can play outside. Big contested catcher that just doesn't drop anything. But Horton doesn't really rely a lot on his body for the most part for positioning, but he just outjumps and outmuscles everybody for the most part. But like I said, Torrey Horton in a bad Colorado State team should again smash That's my number 8 prospect here. And moving on to number 7 here, we got Isaiah Bond from Alabama Crimson Tide, who recently just transferred to Texas, so he should have better opportunities here with a lot of wide open targets left by, AD Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, and Jatavian Sanders. He should smash this year. He kind of, got limited production because Jalen Milroe only threw for like 20 passes a game, and there was a lot of quarterback carousal that season for Alabama. I think the other reason why he left is because Saban left, so he wanted a fresh new start and a better offense. He should smash this year with Quinn Ewers, assuming Quinn Ewers doesn't regress, but I hope Quinn Ewers does, because I actually like him as a prospect. He's shown elite elite traits that made him a number 1 overall prospect, so hopefully he improves on that, and more importantly he stays healthy. But more to Isaiah Bond here, he has a great athletic profile, very quick, very elusive, and one of the most electric players in this class. He got game-breaking speed, and he kind of reminds me of, this might be too high of a praise, but the way he runs and the way he plays, like a little Tyreek Hill, but for a more leveled comparison, probably like more Zay Flowers, but I can see a little Tyreek there too. So expect him to have another breakout season here, probably like 70 catches, clips 1,000 yards, and possibly 8+ touchdowns. So Isaiah Bond, 0017. Hopefully he fixed number 7 as his number. That would be legendary. Moving on to number 6 prospect here, we got Antwain Juice Wells Jr., formerly South Carolina. He just transferred to, where do I think he transferred here? Ole Miss to play with Jackson Dart. So he's a very big receiver, deceptively fast and very strong. He missed 2023 due to quote-unquote injury. I don't exactly know what happened, but he had a pretty good sophomore year, huge breakout, and then junior year kind of regressed with Spencer Rattler. And then 2023 he just got hurt. He transferred to South Carolina, and then now he's transferring again to Ole Miss. So hopefully he gives Jackson Dart that breakout year that we've been waiting for. Like, he's improving, but Juice Wells should help accelerate that. My favorite quarterback prospect of that draft should have a breakout season in terms of like Heisman candidacy. So this dude is a big body receiver, and kind of reminds me of like at worst Jonathan Mingo, kind of like a big slot, but more importantly like Deebo Samuel, like just the way they move, just very big, break tackles, big strong hands. Like, I mean, that's not Mingo right now in the league, but he's shown flashes of that at Ole Miss. So essentially maybe he'll get a second round prospect here. But Antwain Juice Wells, expect him to have another sophomore breakout season. Hopefully he stays healthy this year. Alright, moving on to the top 5 wide receiver prospects. A more well-known names here. So first one at number 5, probably surprising for a lot of people, we got Emeka Egbuka. Who had an amazing sophomore year, but unfortunately he regressed at 2023 due to injury and like very bad, not bad, but like disappointing quarterback play from Kyle McCord, who eventually transferred out with the Ohio State. But he has a more decent quarterback this upcoming season. I don't know how much of a upgrade Will Howard will be from Kyle McCord, but hopefully he is, because I expect him to have a they're expecting championship here with these signings. Pretty legit wide receiver room. Emeka Egbuka should be the number 1 option here, and he should replicate 2022 and possibly surpass that, depending on the progression of Will Howard. He's my current comp for him is a really not big, but like strong and stocky and very shifty for his size. And very sure-handed too. Kind of reminds me of Steve Smith, the way he just moves around the field and uses his big body to like get positioning. So yeah, that's a pretty big comparison, but that's what I saw like in his sophomore tape. Fortunately, 2023 was very inconsistent, but expecting a 2022 resurgence from Emeka Egbuka here with a revamped offense. Next, we got Barian Brown from the Kentucky Wildcats. This dude's probably the fastest wide receiver in this class. This dude's just an athlete and just looks like the Flash out there. Very skinny though, pretty tall, skinny, but that's probably why he's so fast. Long strides. But anyways, he had a pretty good freshman year, and then everybody was expecting a breakout sophomore, but unfortunately he just replicated his freshman year. I'm expecting a much better junior year. So man, this dude, every time he catches the ball, he just jukes everybody like Xavier Worthy, but much more refined in terms of like moves. But like my current comp is Jaden Reed. Like he got more elusiveness and lateral quickness than what's his name, Xavier Worthy, much like Jaden Reed has shown in the league. That's the kind of type of play I expect from him. Very, very intriguing prospect this upcoming year. If he somehow really improve his stock, he could definitely jump up, because he's gonna be a true junior when he's eligible for the draft. And we just saw Xavier Worthy go in the first round, so expect similar, potentially better, if he improves his game. Moving on to number 3 here, we got Luther Burden III. This dude is a tank. Like I don't know if I've seen this kind of type of player in a while with this much production in his sophomore year. But man, this dude, if you guys remember Justin Blackman, this dude is essentially Justin Blackman. But if you haven't, the most recent current comp I see in the league is probably AJ Brown. This dude is big, fast, strong, and just super explosive. Probably way more explosive than AJ Brown. Like I said, watch some Justin Blackman highlights and you'll see what I'm talking about. Luther Burden could potentially be the first receiver in this class if he repeats his sophomore year. I'm expecting it. I want it. Hopefully Mizzou doesn't, fail him. But Luther Burden, remember that name. Finally, we're on to the number 2 prospect here. We got Evan Stewart, formerly of the Aggies, Texas A&M. He transferred to Oregon to join Dylan Gabriel. And this is more of a projection on my part, because most people would have Burden as their number 2, but the way Evan Stewart plays and the way Dylan Gabriel has shown what he can do in the college level, I'm expecting 100 catches, like 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns from Evan Stewart. He's just one of the best route runner in this class. Very crisp, very quick, very elusive. Current comp right now is probably JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, his sophomore year with CJ Stroud. Just kind of crispness in route running and kind of domination I'm expecting in his junior year. So I'm probably gonna be wrong. He's probably gonna have like a good year, not like an amazing year, but I'm expecting an amazing year, especially in that Oregon offense that kind of relies on a lot of short routes that Dylan Gabriel can't take advantage of. So remember that here. Evan Stewart gonna have like a Heisman type level junior year. Finally, my number 1 prospect in this class, and probably the most productive and most physically gifted in terms of like wide receiver type build. We got Tataroa McMillan from the Arizona Wildcats. This dude just had a breakout years. Sophomore year, it's a true sophomore. 90 catches, 1,400 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Unfortunately, his coach left Arizona to go to UW, but luckily his quarterback Noah Fafita stayed with him, so they have that chemistry built in. And if he doesn't surpass this number, I would be shocked, because this dude is amazing. And Pac-12, although they're moving on, actually that might ding him up a little bit. We'll see how he fares up against better competition. I expect him to not miss a beat, and expect him to be a top 10 draft pick. Just this big route, like big receiver, pretty good route runner, and just amazing at using his body. He's like a big power forward with elusively fast speed, honestly. Reminds me of Mike Evans. That's the lazy comparison, but an even lazier comparison is like Marvin Harrison Jr. Like poor man's Marvin Harrison Jr. Not poor man, but like if Marvin Harrison Jr. was a top 4 pick, T-Mac is definitely like a top 10 version, like a 90% version of Marvin Harrison Jr., who should be a top 10 pick in this upcoming draft class. That's my top 10. A lot of this will change. Like a lot of people will have Burden as their number 1. I get it. Makes sense. This dude is amazing. Tat just, I think, has a much higher floor in terms of transition to the league, because of how smooth and how good it is as an outside boundary receiver that can be easily, you know, transition to the league. And Evan Stewart's just, everyone wants a fast game, and he definitely embodies that. So that's my top 10 receivers for the 2025 eligible wide receiver class. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.